I signed into law the organic law for Bangsamoro region for Muslim Mindanao, which I hope will finally end the decades of conflict that is rooted in the Bangsamoro's fight for self-determination and recognition of their unique identity.
The Insider Mediators in Mindanao was organized in September 2016, composed of representatives from civil society, government, and the Moro Revolutionary Front. Their divergent voices on issues about the Bangsamoro strengthened their position as mediators inside the areas of conflict. The Insider Mediators worked on three basic themes: the Bangsamoro peace process, Marawi rehabilitation, and federalism. They worked closely with the Bangsamoro Transition Commission that drafted the Bangsamoro Basic Law and helped in the public information campaign. They also vigorously lobbied in Congress for the retention of key provisions of the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro into the law. The Insider Mediators participated as well in exploring the federalism track as an option. Before the guns fell silent in Marawi City in 2017, the Insider Mediators were already helping craft plans for rehabilitation, even as some of their members were themselves victims of war.
In the Bangsamoro, we took the initiative of trying to work out a system of mediating the internal conflict between the Moros and the Philippine government, and also inside the Bangsamoro, among us. We make sure that we get people from different organizations, not just one organization. So in the case of the revolutionary groups, for instance, in the initial list of people who will be trained for mediation, we choose people from the MNLF, from the MILF, two factions, and from different groups, so that we can have a group with the same kind of training, essentially the same kind of skills. So in a way, you level the playing field and then create a platform where these individuals who've been trained in mediation would be able to discuss very important issues affecting the Bangsamoro. So that was the beginning of the Insider Mediation Group. The group grew from the initial number of 30 to now, I think, over 100. And we continue to deliberate on very important issues that affects the Bangsamoro, including the peace process. And then how do we go about, if we succeed in setting up a Bangsamoro government, what do we do? What actually needs to be done, so that we don't just get a government, but that we also make sure that this government delivers on its promise to improve the socio-economic conditions of the Bangsamoro.
I've been to many groups also. Most of the groups that has been already coming up with these kind of activities, we're also being part of that. But the difference with the Insider Mediator is, for instance, the strength. We came from various disciplines. So they came in with those inputs. Aside from the fact that there are also engineers, various disciplines, field of expertise. So this convergence of ideas allow for a democratic exchanges of opinions.
The visioning exercise is one way of providing a space and a platform for the different sectors to come together and talk about their vision for the new entity. If you talk about your desires for your homeland, you only have one thing. You have something in common, and that is for the common good of the majority. So if you take a look at the exercises and the questions asked, it is not really about just yourself, but how you can contribute as an individual, as a family, sector, organization, to the betterment of a new kind of government and a new kind of entity.
This forum is, I think, the most civilized venue that I have attended, where each one is tolerant with each other. There is a common vision, and because of that, we consider each one's view and respect each one's position. It's the respect that makes this group strong and effective. In short, there's a need for a continuing conversation and dialogue. Just like a family has to undergo continuing, conversation and dialogue over dinner, over breakfast, because that's life. That's life. It's a continuing process of change. And another thing is, again, I would like to quote another passage in the Quran, which says, "Wa amruhum surah bainahum," which means, in the conduct of the affairs of the people, there must be consultation.
According to the United Nations Development Program, insider mediation draws upon the abilities of institutions or individuals that are seen as insiders within a given context to broker differences, build consensus, and resolve conflict. The experience of insider mediators in Mindanao opens new avenues and alternatives in the pursuit to a just and lasting peace.